So this is my technical reflection video for Advanced Tech Design Semester 2. For this semester, I decided to make a plugin which allows you to create interactable looting containers with a weighted looting system. So let's get to it. So how this system works is it's a plugin, of course, and it's meant to be as detached from any project as possible. So I could take this into any project after this and it would work. I would have a basic looting system. So here, for example, you have 4 different just shapes and they're all actually interactable containers. How it works is that each container is a blueprint in itself. The only reason it has to be a blueprint is because it's replicated. This system is replicated, so a blueprint, you can select if a blueprint is replicated, so any changes on that will be replicated to clients, etc. I tried using just static meshes. It wouldn't work on a static mesh. So yeah, it has, the minimum requirement is whatever you place the component on, it has to be a replicated blueprint. As you can see in the component section, there's a interactable container. This is the main component which handles everything to do with the actual container. So Looter provides the name of the container, so this could be anything. How to loot it, so like press E, press F, press C, whatever. An icon, if in case you want an icon instead of text. Use customer global how to loot. So basically the component itself has already preset how to loot message, which is press E to loot. But if you was to take this, you then can put in your own message, press G to loot, and it will use this rather than the pre-created message. Length of interaction, so how long it will take to open up this container. So imagine an actual character rummaging through a bookshelf, bookshelf. Yeah, this would be how long he rummages through it before he finds any loot. Container reset cooldown is in seconds. How long after a container has been searched, how long it will take for it to reset so it generates new loot. So how the system currently works is if you search a container once first time, it'll generate a weighted loot, and then it won't generate anything new until this time here, container reset cooldown has elapsed. Then it'll generate something new. Type of progress bar is a progress bar which appears in the middle of your screen when you loot a container. This is the progress bar. And then how many items you want a specific container to spawn, so between 1 and 5. And then lastly, we can choose if we want to round values in the weighted loot generation. So that's everything you can change as a container. Oh, also the different highlight types. So you have either post-processing or independent, and if it is independent, you can pick which color you want it to be. As you can see here, using the text, this one's going to use the post-processing outline, this one's going to be independent, and so on and so on. So let me demonstrate how it works. Here, so I'm able to walk up to it. It just says chest currently, you see. If I walk up to it and press, because currently it says to use, I would have used custom how to loot, but if I just untick this, then it'll say press E to loot container, chest. And then when I actually press E, there you go. So you saw, let me see again, scroll bar in the middle, a radial scroll bar. Let me see again. There you go. And then there you go. So it shows you what items I have found in the chest. So here you see a Pastilli mask and propane, and one of the mask and 2 propane. If I search it again now, you'll see that the progress bar appears again, meaning that the loot inside has reset and regenerated. There you go. So to see, we have new loot. But if I press it again really quickly, it just opens up right away, and it just shows me the previously already created loot. So this way, you can imagine in a survival game, for example, you can have let's say a cupboard which spawns food. You can search it once to find what's in the cupboard, and then you can come back 5 minutes later and it still will be there. And then like after 10 minutes something new will appear. So it's basically the same thing. There you go. So now I'll show you a different container. So now this is a fridge. Press F to loot. Again, I've got it as E, but I'm demonstrating how you can change different widgets and feedback to the player. So if I interact with it, this one takes a bit longer, as you can see, and it gives me loot. So this is the circle too. As you can see, it takes a bit longer. And then finally we have a dresser. And then you see this one, instead of using press E to loot, this one's using an icon. So if you had an icon of just the E image, you could do E to loot container. I just thought it might be just some variation if you just don't want to use pure text. Maybe, yeah. Maybe you just want to use an icon, no text. You can do that too. So you can see the fridge, it has a different progress bar here. You see, it's more like a sweep, radial sweep, I would say. So yeah, that's how the system works, and this is all on the server currently, but I'll also show you it works replicated. So here's the client. There you go. The client can interact. He sees the loot. If the server walks up, the loot's still the same for both clients. There you go. You can also see that only the server shoots out the line trace. That's just so the client has no authority over anything. The server is in charge of sending the traces, generating the loot, and telling the clients what loot they received. So they got the clients opening the fridge, and then let's say so we have P22 propane, and now if I was to go as the server, as this was already looted by someone, the server won't have to search it again because it's already been searched by someone. So you can just open it. There you go. It instantly just shows me what the loot is without having to actually wait for the search. Now the seconds timer elapsed, so it reset. So now new loot. If I go back to the client and open it, there you go, the new loot. So yeah, so that's how the system looks and how it works. And let me quickly demonstrate how you could create a new container. So if I was to go into just content and create a new blueprint, I would call it chest. So let's say I want this to be an actual interactable chest. Here we go. I would add, you can either add a static mesh or any shape you want. I don't have any, actually I do have static mesh, but they're just cubes. So if I was to add, let's say a cylinder and just make it long. So this is the chest. And then I was to add the component of interactable container and just replicate it. Yeah. It works fine. So, and then you just have to set everything up. So you can just change like outlines. Was process like loot table, pick the loot table, name of container, chest, how to loot, length of interaction, say 5 seconds, it'll reset after 60, and it'll spawn between 0 and 5 items. And then start. So the server, there it is, chest, there you go. And they got spawned 1 item, and then if I was to go as a client, the client can interact and the same loot spawned. So yeah, that's how the container system works. And the only other component which I have which work hand in hand is the character component or the controller component. It's called player interaction component, which is just handles basically everything to do with the player stuff, play local stuff. So sending line traces to interact with the component, with the containers, or displaying widgets. This is what the player interaction component is used for. It's it's basically everything to do with the player itself, while the other component is to do only the container. Yeah, that's about it though. So